I've recently entered a new career, and with that comes a lot of learning. A particular topic of interest to me is mentorship. I've never had a formal mentor. My parents didn't speak about their own mentors, and they didn't encourage my brother or I to obtain one. So I think it's safe to assume that neither one of them had a mentor. I have no idea how to acquire a mentor. Do I ask someone outright to mentor me? Will someone reach out to me if I show promise? Well, because I don't know, I've decided to ask. I spoke with 2 different people that I work with about the topic of mentorship.
So I would say I have 2 mentors in 2 different areas. So one is someone that I work really closely with, and someone that is a few positions ahead of where I want to be. Partly to see how that individual got to maybe the 3 or 4 positions ahead of where I am now. What are some things I can do to work along the way? The director of recreation is one of my mentors, and he was one that I specifically approached like, hey, there's this mentorship program in our department. Would you mind being my mentor? And part of what I wanted him to do is help feel out different opportunities, not only within our field, but as well as like help me think about my next move. And I felt comfortable being able to have that open conversation with him of like what I learned, how do I build my portfolio. He helped me really put together a presentation and a process that kind of helped make me be published. So now he helped me get published. My mentor that works closely with me, I can learn from her more frequently and kind of get some feedback about my position, a little bit more instant feedback. Having that additional person to keep me accountable has been really helpful. And I would say that a lot of times you would potentially get a mentor when you're just starting to kind of help you learn that organization and that position. And then oftentimes once you kind of have that nailed down, then you potentially look for a mentor that is someone that can help you grow and figure out your next steps. I feel more like I want to mentor them, so maybe I become a little bit more of a I want to help you grow and less of them approaching me. I would say that it's mostly because of the resources that I provide them. So the opportunities, either the connections, the network, things to look out for, websites to look into, different opportunities for their next step. And that's how I would consider myself to be their mentor. As you grow and you get into a career and you're unsure, people talk about it, maybe not formally, but someone mentions it like, hey, you should get a mentor, or hey, have you talked to this person? Even saying, hey, have you talked to this person? That is an opportunity to have a mentor or speak with someone who's a mentor. I'm also really fortunate. I'd actually call my mom one of my mentors as well. She works in the business field, and so I'm like, I'm frustrated with this situation. How do I work on that? And so because she knows me personally really well, she's able to be like, well, think of the broad picture, or help with my emotional intelligence, kind of mentor in a way and kind of think about that aspect of it versus more professional growth. She helps on a different level.
I would say 97% of all of my bosses have been tremendous mentors, bosses, coaches, that sort of thing. My very first one that was the most influential was Malachi Cunningham. He coached swimming at Temple University, and I swam under him. He treated us like human beings first. And that really is at the core foundation of all that I do. I try to do it in life too, but really intentionally at work, because I know I am working with young professionals. Nothing makes me happier than when some young professionals come in and say, Barb, you have a few minutes? Can we talk about what I'm going to do with my career? I say, absolutely, let's do it. You know, there weren't necessarily structured opportunities for mentorship early on. I'm not really shy either. I never asked anyone to be my mentor. I was fortunate that they were there. As an older professional, seasoned professional in the business, to have my door open, engage in conversations and make people feel comfortable to reach out to me. And then when I have sort of worked with a few people, those people tell some other ones that, oh, go talk to her. And so it's both. If I see someone, there's usually a look of either frustration, confusion, or excitement about what they're doing. And those are great opportunities to say, hey, do you have your master's yet? What do you want to be when you grow up? Kind of pick and choose from different folks. But for me in particular, it's honesty. and I like directness as well, and I'll try to tell you a story and keep it brief if I can. I was the first-year athletic director. I was rolling that rock up the hill, and it kept rolling back on me again and again and again for reasons that didn't seem right, and I was starting to lose my spirit. I have a wonderful mentor, Judy Sweet, very well known nationally and internationally. I sent her an email, and I said, Judy, could you please answer a question for me? And please do me a favor and answer it directly. Don't drop breadcrumbs and make me figure it out myself. Do things like integrity, sportsmanship, professionalism, compromise. Do those things really matter in college athletics? Because I really am starting to believe that they don't. As we were talking, Judy, and I'm crying and my glasses are fogging up, she said, do you see a strategy to achieve success? Is there anything that you can do to achieve success? I said, I can be disrespectful, rude, and dismissive of my boss and just leave her in the dust and do whatever I want to, regardless of what she says. But I'm not willing to do that. As a human being, I'm not going to do it. There was a pause, and Judy said, let me tell you what I'm hearing you say. You're saying you see a strategy that's available for you to achieve success with this problem, but you're choosing not to do it. You need to own that. So instead of being patted on the back for being the respectful, good citizen of the world, she took a great opportunity to put things in perspective in terms of business, work, life. You make choices, and you need to own them. And if you're still stuck in a spot, sometimes it's because you choose to still be stuck. But for me, it works for me. Because as a human being, I am not willing to cross that line. I need to own that. It's more important for me to find a different way or not achieve success at that moment. And I've shared that story with hundreds of young professionals because we get really emotionally invested in what we do. But we have to be aware of our title, our responsibilities, our priorities, our timing, what's really important to us and what's not, and then own it. Because I don't want to be Judy Sweet, Jen Schillingford, and be the best Barb Bullock I can be. And I want young professionals to hear that message, just absorb it, own it, and find their path and be the best professional person they can be too. If we do that, we can't lose.
I really appreciate Barb and Katrina speaking with me. I hope the information was helpful or at least interesting to you. I often hear the narrative of a self-made man, but the reality is a lot of people get help from other people. These people open doors and provide you access to spaces that maybe you wouldn't have gotten to without, or at least allow you to get there faster. But a lot of times people don't talk about that. I enjoy talking and learning from other people, and I will continue to do so. See you.